pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
You have it, please silence yourself. Sure, do the same. Trustee Broadbent is excused tonight. So moving into the agenda, I'll entertain a motion to approve the minutes from August 12th, 2025. So moved by trustee McGowan, second by trustee Violi. Questions, discussions, additions, deletions? All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. Treasurer's report.
Oh, again, I filled your mailboxes downstairs. I included the projections for the final numbers for 24-25. I included the August report for the projections as well, and I also uploaded all of those reports for the fiscal year, current year, and final to the Google Drive. So you should have everything there. If any questions, let me know. Rolls down to number 5. The AUD for fiscal year ending May 31st is almost ready to be filed in New York State. Because this is the first year that I'm treating internally for pool cash funds, I've got to talk to them hopefully tomorrow, but as of last week I got the final numbers from New York State for the pension liability, so I tried calling today and nobody would answer. So I'm sure that they're busy with answering questions now that everybody can kind of finalize everything. So hopefully tomorrow find out how to handle that, because it will be different than in years past. But once it's submitted, if you have any questions on it, if you want to look at it, let me know. Number 6, the close of business, September 12th, we collected just over $6.5 million. About 90.4% of the total tax warrant. We adjusted $7.2 million. It's pretty close to what we were last year. The last day for collection in the village is going to be Tuesday, September 30th. At that point, that's when we turn it over to the county to collect the next 2 months, and then whatever's unpaid, they re-levy that under the January bill. Number 7 is the new rates for the New York State retirement system. This is how much that the employers have to pay. There's a column there for 26-27, and then a comparison against the 25-26 numbers. They're ranging from 1% for the low, upwards to 4% as a high. A lot of the bigger ones will run PFRS rates. So if you have any questions on what all of those mean, by all means ask me.
What's the asterisk? Sorry.
That's more for me,
Okay.
just as a different notation, but contributory versus non-contributory, how it shows up on the bill. I don't need that on there now because I've got it listed separately. Number 8, we received the apportionment for next year's workers' compensation expense. It's going to be $331,205, which is an increase of $363. So about the same. And lastly is the engagement letter for the financial statements review for the auditors for this year. I believe we ended up doing it in April. So we've already kind of handled it, but this is the quoted price. It's actually probably going to be a little less this coming year than what it was last year, because last year we had the annual, we had the single rate. So that costs more. So because we had that last year but not this year, prices are probably going to be lower than it was last year. So I don't see a need at this point for the single audit. Last year it was just one item that could kick us over the amount. So we shouldn't have to do it this year.
So do you need authorization for me to sign that?
Yeah, good to have formal, yes.
Entertain a motion? So moved by trustee Simpson, second. Second by trustee McGowan. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. Thank you, Kevin. Committee reports, code.
So, I met with,
Go ahead, I didn't hear you.
oh, go ahead, yeah. Met with Mike and Aaron the other day, so usually we come in and talk about the negative, but I figured why don't we talk about some positive stuff, right? Mike and his crew have been working very hard, as we were talking beforehand, before the meeting started. Stewards, they worked very hard with stewards to get them open. I think they were ahead of schedule, right? So that was awesome. Phase 2 of the Newberries, right over here on the corner. They're working hard with those guys to move forward with that. They're working with Home Depot. They're in a big program or project to upgrade their fire protection systems, which is excellent. Mike wanted us to just, they're working at the issues at 18 and a half Hatfield, West Hatfield. We talked about that property before. Hopefully it's resolved. And they're still working hard with the attorneys with all the other stuff we talked about in the past. So that's all I got, unless Mikey's got something.
No, pretty much did anything that I was gonna
Okay,
maybe add in.
thanks.
David's not here tonight. Marty, anything, did we want to, I know we have an item for discussion, the Center Street Culvert project. Want to do that right now?
Yeah, we can, yeah.
Why don't we?
Okay. Well, we'll just, first of all, we'll just go over the report for the month. What we're doing is trying to wrap up Olive Ave and Douglas. Been a huge undertaking, and taking up a lot of time, effort. Guys doing a good job. And we plan on at the end of the week getting back down to the park to put the railing up, finishing railing up on the park project. Refuse crew started picking up brush 1st of September. Still haven't got the final numbers yet for the cleanup. Hopefully have that in a couple weeks. And I think it's next Saturday is the cleanup that the county's hosting at the DPW. We'll try to get something on the website on that so that, I know the county's gonna be advertising it too, but, next thing obviously is the Center Street Culvert project. So when that went out to bid, there was only a certain part of it that was gonna be, taken care of. Basically it was out in the street. So the section that in the street between Maple Street and Center Street was not gonna be touched. Well, when they excavated and got to that one section where they're gonna be tying into with the new box, just basically nothing there. You know, the concrete was about that thick and a bunch of laid up stone. There's no bottom in it. It's a mess. So to get the project to where it has to be, where it needs to be, there's going to be a cost overrun on the contract of about $145,000, which at that point the village is responsible for that much. So today we went back through all the line items that haven't been zeroed out yet, money that's still in the agreement, the original agreement. I think we got it down to about 70,000. And then when the project was bid, there was like 45,000 something left on the table with the state. So we inquired into DOT, where's that 45,000? Can that get put back toward that? Well, they're looking for the 45,000 to see what it would be, but I think by, once this gets going, I think we'll be able to get what the village's cost is gonna be down a little bit lower too. So that's, I think we're gonna be okay. I think the village's gonna be okay. It's not gonna be, they wanted me to present to you the worst case scenario, 145,000. And that's what they need a board approval on, verbal, and then the paperwork will get sent to the village tomorrow for you to sign. Problem we have right now is Barry's has to order the material for this project, and the epoxy coated rebar is the problem. And we're hoping they may have to pull off the site for a while and go somewhere else and work because they're gonna be done with everything else.
So I guess my recommendation would then be to pass a authorization for an amount not to exceed. Do we say 145 or do we go higher to be safe?
No, and that was the number today. They told me to, go to 145, and that's, it's not gonna go higher than that.
So that mean they're gonna take all those line items that are zeroed out and just find ways to spend that, and then we're on the hook for 145, or why don't we, like,
Well-
they're gonna send us paperwork tomorrow, why couldn't they do that today for the meeting, to have a better idea?
Well, because they asked me to do it this way, and as far as, you know, either way, what's gonna end up, they're gonna end up turning in pay apps. And if it's under their original contract, so either way, it's gonna be, not gonna be 145,000, you know what I mean? Your original contract was 665, it's not gonna be 665, because it's gonna be less than that, because they didn't zero out all their line items. So either way, at the end of the day, you're gonna see where you're gonna save, and it's not gonna be that overage of 145. But we can have, I mean, GPI can, you know, we can have this discussion tomorrow.
I'm just
Yeah,
wondering
yeah.
if they can have that figure ready tomorrow, why couldn't they today?
Yeah. I still think caution on the, err on the side of caution, should probably pass that resolution, pass an authorization not to exceed $145,000. That way it's on the books, and we can, because I mean, if we can, let's just play out us being stubborn, we say, nope, not gonna do it, what would happen? Just out of curiosity.
Well, that was a discussion today too.
Oh, how'd that discussion go?
You know, you're gonna have a hole, which, in the yard next to that smoke shop, right on the edge of the road, it's gonna be like a 15-foot hole that. We'll have to put stone in there, and the water will have to get from that culvert to that culvert the best way possible, right? I mean, it's just, yeah, and that was a discussion, that, well, what if they don't? Well, realistically, we know that it has to get done, because it can't, it's,
It'll wash away.
and this is the, when you look at this project, so you got a culvert here, you got a culvert here, that's all supposed to be, normally you would start at one end and work your way. Well, this project isn't like that. They did the Maple Street, now we're doing the Center Street part, now you got a middle part, which, because there wasn't enough money in this round of culvert near grant funding, you would have to go back again and try to get more, because there's still more that needs to be done. And I told him, I said, this is crazy.
Yeah.
It's,
I'll entertain a motion to authorize, for authorization not to exceed $145,000 on the Center Street culvert project.
So,
Moved by trustee Simpson, second.
second.
Second by trustee McGowan. All those in favor? Opposed? Motion carried. That it?
Park looks great, I just gotta give my 2 cents. Park looks great.
Sure does. Super. Thanks, Marty.
thank you.
Economic community development, I know we're in full swing for the Fall Fest, thank you, I got a great talk, so. Yeah, the Fall Fest,
I talked to James the other day, the code clerk, and other than fence stuff, there's really nothing that he's seen come through his office, so, as far as bigger projects either, so, right now, anyways.
I have some grant stuff.
go ahead.
So the theater is still progressing, they are working hard, they still have, for this round, they're utilizing core of the community funds, so they're still, have brick repointing, storefront updates. I believe they're done with the theater entrance, working on the overhang to finish before the new marquee is installed. They're having a flip the switch party on the 15th. We just received last week the grant disbursement agreement for the Restore grant. We still have to provide them like banking information, insurance information, but no work. I know there's been a lot of people that are like, where's the grant money, where's the grant money? Well, no work can be done until that's all finalized. School business, work continues, a couple unforeseen issues there, structural stuff that are being addressed. We're working with Clarkson University students. I don't know why this is doing that. We're too close. working with Carson University students to put together some language. We've got to do historical signage there, so I think there's 4 or 5 panels. We continue to meet bi-weekly, tentatively the schedule that I've been provided prior to these unforeseen conditions they're supposed to be done. Beginning to middle of November, there's obviously still gonna need to be some things done afterwards, repointing of some bricks, decorative items, we need to figure all that out, but also we're likely gonna have to wait till spring. The downtown streetscape had the project kickoff meeting with the Department of State and Labella Associates, the beginning of September, to discuss the schedule, next steps. I formed a project advisory committee and will be reaching out to other stakeholders in the community for their input for the design phase. There'll be plenty of opportunities to hear the public's opinions and suggestions throughout the entire process, and hoping to have the first project advisory committee meeting the end of this month, although it's getting late for me, so probably the beginning of October.
Laura is here from the chamber. Laura?
Thank you, sir. Ben just asked me to go through a couple of things that we've got working on right now. We have the open air market that's scheduled for this Saturday at the St. Lawrence Power and Equipment Museum in Madrid. So far we have over 80 vendors. We usually get about 3,000 people through the gate. I'm hoping for more than that, so please all come out and pay admission. Our annual dinner is scheduled for Wednesday, October 22nd at the Grandview in Ogdensburg. Our holiday market is scheduled for Saturday, December 6th and Sunday, December 7th at St. Lawrence University. Took us a while to get on the books because we had to find a new location because Maxie is being renovated. I'm working with John Gardner to auction off the items that are in our Massena building. So if anybody wants to come and take a look and see what the village can use, please let me know. Monique has my contact information. We have a Massena Ambassadors Group that has been meeting for the last few months. Our next meeting is this Thursday, it's September 18th at 4:30 at the Alcoa Clubhouse. Anybody is welcome to join us if you would like to. We meet on the 3rd Thursday of the month at Alcoa. We have a lead on office space for the chamber office in Massena on Main Street. It's a former barber shop. I couldn't tell you the address, I'm sorry. The owner is renovating that, so we'll be looking into that. And we also are working with the ambassadors to schedule a spring fest. It's going to be held the days of May 1st through the 10th. It's an event that we're going to put mini events on throughout that time period, asking businesses to do some free activities for families. We're looking at having our business after hours during that time. We're looking at a community luncheon where we can award some of the awards that we used to do at the annual dinner in Massena. We're not bringing back the annual dinner to each community, we're just moving it around to the different communities. And Nicole Olette from Alcoa is working on a Spring Fest Olympics for kids during that Spring Fest time period. So everything else is on our website. If you have anything you'd like more information on, you can always reach out to me.
Super.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yoan's here from the Rotary. I think now would probably be a great time. It's under community development. So sure.
Thank you. Hi, yeah, Yoan Dowd, I'm the president of the Rotary Club of Massena, and I just wanted to thank you, Mayor Pigwin, and the board for supporting our Peace Pole initiative. We did, and Marty's guys, Bill and Jordan were there yesterday with the back truck. That was very cool. You guys have best really like that. That was amazing. But we got our Peace Pole up. We did our dedication ceremony today. Very well attended. We were sorry that you couldn't be there, but I did say that you were there in spirit and with your support.
Again, we can blame Mrs. Panklin. She's the one that made me work this year.
So, Yeah, we have a park committee, within Rotary that has some ideas about maybe some dedicated bricks that might go around the Peace Pole. And we also dismantled the sign that was really in rough repair, and we're thinking about what we wanna do there too. So is any of that stuff that I need to cover with you guys as we get going forward?
I think just give us a heads up, that's it.
Okay.
Talk to either me or Monique or Marty's fine.
Okay, sounds good, so that's down the road, but, yeah, I just wanted to say thank you to everybody, I thought it was a pretty good success.
Thanks to the Rotary, that was really nice. It's, anything we can do that can spruce that up, that's great. I
Yeah,
appreciate it.
yeah. We did do some raking, there's a lot of bees that hang out.
Oh,
there.
yeah. That's how you do it. Thank you.
Have a good night.
Thanks. Okay, moving on, emergency services, Jack?
Yep, I'll start rescue. There's an item obviously coming up later in the agenda. Moving on, I met with fire, and I'm currently working on the lease agreement. Should be done in a short time. And I'm also meeting with met with volunteers regarding their contracts, hoping to have both of those wrapped up pretty quickly. Things look good. And as far as police, I don't have anything to report. I don't have you. Okay. That's it.
Thank you. Negotiations, Ken, I know we're working, to start meeting with the town on,
Yeah, I don't know.
I think it's the,
The 6th, if I'm not available, hopefully we get together before.
Yeah.
There.
we'll hand it on the date.
Yeah, I'm more than confident that you can handle it, but it would be better if two of us were there. Maybe the mayor could be there if I have to be in Albany that day, so, or even maybe Monique's available, so.
Okay.
So, I haven't heard anything more than,
We should definitely meet ahead of time
Yes.
in the event that.
yeah, I guess, yeah, I have to be in Albany those 2 days for work, so.
Okay.
Personnel, I know we're going to start doing interviews for the position in the water department. Senior account clerk. Rec? Becca?
Okay. So at the last meeting, they were working on creating an off-season rate for renting the arena, in order to hopefully attract events that might rent the space. So it would be like in the month of May and September. And it would also offer some of the nonprofit groups an option for renting the space at a reduced rate. So that was a new development. They sent the compressor away to be rebuilt because it had metal shavings found in the filter. Last time that was sent away was 10 years ago. And the one that they sent prior was like this year, I think they had sent one away, or last year. It was reimbursed with just $1,000 cost to them. They're working on a formal process for dedicating memorials to members of the community that had outstanding performances or contributions to the rec department or Massena Recreation. And they're using like the model that the high school has for dedicating like a bench or a tree or something, so that they have a system in place. The new community center policy is on the list of things to discuss, so I'll wait on that. They have the 16th annual Train and Tory Show coming up, which is a big event, and the opening day of ICE is September 29th.
Super, thank you. Yep. Okay, moving on, and next item, the initial public comment period. Anyone wishing to address the board, please state your name, and please limit comments to 5 minutes. Anyone wishing to address the board? Yes, sir.
Yeah, Doug Dilcox. I just want to express my appreciation to our police department and code enforcement. I can't tell you the amount of sleep I've lost over the last couple of years with that house next to me. And I can't tell you what a relief it was to have the village crew show up this morning and clean up that yard and board up the building. And it's to the effort of these folks, and I really appreciate it. They're never going to be able to solve all the problems there, I realize that, but boy, they've sure made life in my neighborhood a whole lot easier, so thank you.
Glad to hear. Yeah. Anyone else wishing to address one? Mr. Dennis?
Good evening, Mr. Mayor, fellow trustees. My name is Michael Delacour. I used to live here back in '96 to 2008. I know Mrs. Pearson very well. She knows me. Mr. Mayor, trustees, You guys should be embarrassed of 89 Grove Street. I spent 11 days there after suffering a double stroke. I was treated like an animal. I laid in urine for 9.5 hours. My Foley bag broke. I asked the CNA if I could get changed. She had me in street clothes for 38.5 hours, sitting in a soiled, urinated pen. I was outside twice in 11 days for 15 minutes. Inmates get an hour of recreation a day in the state prison system, okay? All I heard from that staff is, we're short-staffed, we're short-staffed. I was so sick of hearing it, I could gag. I called Mr. Paquin, his response was, nothing I can do. My hands are tied. Mr. Mayor, this is your nursing home.
It's a private business. It is not my nursing home. It's a private.
Would you put your
business.
family member in that dump?
No.
All right then. Go take a walk through Mr. Paquin and staff. Look at what it looks like, okay? Dining room. The table was filthy. I said to the CNA, I said, can you clean the table for dinner? Short staff. It only takes 5 minutes from lunch to clean the table. 5 minutes to sweep the floor. They couldn't even do that, okay? The fire department was there one night. And I said to Mr. Paquin, the fire department was at 89 Grove Street. Find out what they were there for and let me know. Remember that conversation, Mr. Paquin?
Unfortunately, I don't.
Well, you told me on the phone to find out what they were there for.
All right. There's a good
I
chance I said
called
that.
them and asked them, was the fire department there back in August? None of your business. I was a resident in that nursing home for 11 days. I want to know why they're there. Okay? Now, let me ask you this question. Would you let your loved one lay in urine for 9.5 hours? It's unacceptable, all right? All here again, like I said, short staff, all right? Their call bell system was a dinner bell, like they use in a restaurant, order up. All right, I called down there last Wednesday and asked how they were doing on their call bell system. The report was, we're not done yet. I live in a high-rise building in Ogdensburg, it's called Parkview Rise, and Mrs. Pearson knows what I'm talking about, okay? We have Riverview Towers, Centennial, and Parkview. 270 tenants live in those three buildings. They have ripcords. The maintenance guys, they called in to fix those out and take them out. We're done in 2 weeks. It's been a month, and they're still using dinner bills for their patients. That's the kind of nursing home you guys want to have in your city, your village? Mrs. Violi, I'm sorry. Mr. Paper, I'm sorry. Mr. McGowan, I'm sorry. Sir, I'm sorry. But this is despicable. And all I hear is, nothing we can do.
Have you reached out to the Department of Health?
I called the Department of Health, I got a
That's
voicemail.
where you-
Sunday night, they sent me my letter of my complaint. They want me to modify it, and they're gonna send it right off to the Attorney General. Okay? I contacted Mrs. Hochul's office, they're gonna investigate. Mr. Delgado, her assistant's gonna investigate. Mr. Ray's gonna investigate. Mr. Walz's gonna investigate. I contacted North Country this week, they're gonna do a story. I contacted the Massena Observer, they're gonna do a story. They're not gonna like me over there. I pissed them off so much, they forced me to get out of there, all right? Now, here's what kills me. Did physical therapy twice in the 11 days I was there. The physical therapist had the nerve to say to the social worker, his legs are wiggly and jiggly, he's not ready to go home. I had 3 major spinal surgeries. 2 years ago, I had my L2, L3, L4, L5, S1 in pelvis, all rebuilt. Got a rod from here, all the way down to my butt. If you don't think that doesn't hurt, it does. Are they gonna have the nerve to say to me and say to my social worker, he's not going home? No. I set them on a trap. I brought down an empty suitcase. They said, where's your clothes? I said, I didn't bring any. What's the suitcase for? I said, if I brought my clothes down here, I would never see them again. When I left Ogdensburg to go to Syracuse, I was taken in the middle of the night in underwear. The nurses and crowds bought me an outfit, nice white shirt, pair of green slacks. You know what I got? A pair of Massena, my underwear. After my green pants and slacks and my shirt, and you know what they told me? You have nothing. I had to wear their gowns for the whole time I was there. So the day I left, when my wife brought me down a pair of shorts and a shirt and sneakers. Disgusting. And all I hear is, nothing we can do.
Well, I say the village, what we could do is if there's code issues, we can
That's
handle.
exactly what I told Mr. Delacorte.
If you have code issues or if there's police issues, as far as medical issues, I would assume that would fall on the New York State Department of Health.
All right, the fire department's there, call, what are they there for? None of your business. If there's a fire, I'm not gonna lose my life because of negligence. It'd be a lawsuit bigger than I've ever seen. I'm not gonna jeopardize my life. And be treated like an animal? Unacceptable. Again, would you put your loved ones in a place like that? That place is disgusting. In Highland, it isn't any better. I called Mr. Langfeld, he says, I can't help you, but here's the name you can call, and maybe he can give you some insight. And he gave me Mr. Pickman, and that's why I called here at the village. And he called me one day on my way to physical therapy. That's you, Mr. Pickman, on the phone. I don't have much time to talk. You said you're on your break from school, you don't understand you're a school teacher. You didn't have much time to talk, nor did I. As we can talk another time. You said, Mr. Delacorte, you're voting down September 16th.
I gave you a list of all the names that you called, and you had already done that.
Yep.
Your best course of action was to do exactly what you did.
And that's what I'm doing. So I'm hoping, Mr. Papeland, to get some answers from the Attorney General and Mrs. Hochul and Mr. Delgado and Mr. Gray.
And I sincerely hope you get this.
And I do, because I don't want another person to go through what I went through in that facility. And I told this gentleman here, I never seen so many amputee men in one facility. I thought, when you hear stories about nursing homes, it's bad,